Hey, Tony Gaskins here, popping in for another episode of Talks with Tony. Now, we're going right along, moving right in order, and I still got another coaching call today, and I was like, man, I'm trying to shoot a video today and try to stay on track. And then I see this one is pretty long, and I'm like, man, I want to be in and out 30 minutes, just shoot a video, and just so I could keep my rhythm because I'm getting a little too busy for YouTube, and I just keep about to miss day after day after day. And then I was doing a coaching call today, and the client I was coaching said, when I go a day without watching one of your videos, I feel like I get off track in my life. And so I said, okay, man, I got to keep trying to show up on here and just try to be consistent to the best of my ability. So we moving right along. I got the full hour. I didn't want to take the full hour, but I got the full hour if it takes that. I'm not sure if it will. Dear Tony, we've been married for 30 years. 28 years under one roof. 2.5 years separated. We have 9 children together. 3 live with me, ages 16 to 23, and 2 grandchildren. 1 lives with him, age 21. And the others are grown and on their own. On. He originally presented himself as a gallant man, a Christian, and a bit of a bad boy. We dated for 7 months and got married. Yes, we were young, both 19, and in love, so we thought. I strongly believe we were drawn to each other because we came from dysfunctional homes. Him, father was verbally and physically abusive and alcoholic, and so he became the protector of his mother. Me, raised by a single, highly educated woman who has had issues herself finding a healthy relationship. She's been married 5 times, so I experienced daddy issues. That was the longest set of parentheses I have seen. Y'all forgive me. I'm sitting here with my hands up. I'm like, what's going on now? Come on now. Like, how much what we got in this parenthesis now? So y'all forget. So if you're new here, when I do this, it means it's in parentheses. If I do this, that means it's in quotation marks. If I do this, that means it's underlined. If I do this, that means it's bold. During those 28 years, our marriage and our relationship had periods of toxicity. He presented himself as a gentleman and social butterfly in public, but behind closed doors, I never knew what I was going to get. He was sweet at times, rarely drank, didn't smoke, good with the kids. I didn't have to work outside of the home after the first 4 years of marriage, not realizing that this was a control tactic and had isolated me. Walked on eggshells for years, noticed traits his father had, which he carried into the marriage, often verbally and emotionally, physically. On one occasion, I had him move out. Year 3. All right, okay, all right. Now, this is a lot of parentheses now. I mean, on a couple of situations, I left, only to have him apologize with words and gifts and temporarily change behavior. Years 22 through year 26 of our marriage. One day, I woke up and had enough. Went back to school, got my degrees so that I could support me and the kids. They had seen and experienced enough. During our 22nd through 26th year of marriage, I asked him to go to couples counseling and to seek personal counseling. He refused by stating he already knew what he needed to do and no man could teach him, only God. During our 26th through 28th years of marriage, I had emotional affairs. I had been reaching out to my husband in conversation, texts, and letters for 10 plus years before about what I needed from him. I prayed for God to heal us, our marriage, our family. I poured out so much of myself in the marriage that I began to forget who I was, what I liked, and my passions were non-existent. During those years, he got back into the church and started reading books on how to become a better husband and father. During our 28th year of marriage, we each had a physical affair. That was our first year of separation. He moved out at the beginning of that year, and at my request, he filed for divorce. I began to discover who I was again and live on purpose. During the first year of separation, we both started going to counseling individually and decided to co-parent. By some fluke, the divorce fell through. He never appealed the court's decision, even though he had time. I later found out. During our 29th year of marriage / co-parenting, we tried to normalize family dynamics. It was an ugly mess, ugly arguments, distrust on both sides, with elements of beauty, good times, and laughter at times. We stopped trying. Year 30, I met someone while I wasn't looking. I was still healing and working on me. He was 10 years older than me, and everything I placed on a list that no one knew about except for me, my counselor, and God. No laying on my back, no red flags are seen yet, just friends developing into good friends. During this time, my estranged husband and I decided to give the couples counseling a go for co-parenting. My estranged husband found out about the guy. Looking at my phone I left on the table. Googled him, told me everything about him, showed up at his house, and scared him off. We had been friends for a year at this point. I feel like I'm stuck. While I'm trying to move forward and the children are seeing me happy, my estranged husband is trying to sabotage my life of finding peace and happiness. He uses the Bible as a defense to stay married, forgive and manipulate the situation, and me through guilt. Forgive and manipulate the situation and me through guilt. I feel like I'm going to have to file for a divorce because I feel that he won't, and that this will never come to an end. His parents have been separated for almost 20 years and have never divorced. Not because of the man I had met, but because of the red flags I'm seeing again, even during the couples counseling. Manipulation and wanting to bed me. Bed? Do that mean want to sleep with her, or was that a typo for and wanting to beg me? We gonna go with bed because I just like the way that sounds. That's just a new way of sleeping with somebody. Manipulation and wanting to bed me, stating that he still loves me. He has crossed every boundary I've set during counseling under the banner of love, but has shown behavioral changes and holds himself accountable for his past and present mistakes under the guise of I'm learning, I'm trying, I'm in the process. The reality is I'm a Christian who has sinned and been forgiven. So is he, so I cannot judge. I've forgiven him for the 30 years of past hurt. I'm an empath and a romantic recovering from daddy issues. As much as I would love to see our relationship work out, I feel like I've seen this opera before. I'd appreciate your input. Please do not cut any cards. I respect the honesty you've always shown in your videos along with the humor. Awesome. Nah, humor. I don't be telling no jokes now. So y'all, if you laughing at these videos, that means you got a good sense of humor on your own. I just was making sure that Mike was picking up them keystrokes. Yeah, the country boy. Yeah, country boy. Know how to type. Oh, he dumb. Well, he ain't got no degree. Know how to type. Well, sister, I'm gonna tell you. After reading that, I feel like I've been married for 30 years. After reading that, I'm like, woo, that's draining. And then, sister, let me look at you with my good eye. So the picture is black and white, so I can't really see you. Look like a black woman, but I can't see. Oh, okay. Now the email. Now I don't know if that means Indian or African. Indian meaning like Native American or African, because of what the email address is. Nah. Okay. Oh, you know what? Now that first name kind of strike me like Indian, Native American name. I don't know now. But yeah, so what? Now see, 9 kids. When I read that, I say, whoa. Now 16 to 23, 3 of them live with you, ages 16 to 23. So I'm wondering, is it just one of them that's 16, or do you got another one that's under 18 too, like a 16 and a 17-year-old, or do you got a 16 and 18-year-old, 16 to 23, and you got 2 grandchildren? So I'm guessing that 23-year-old or somebody in there got kids. So you got your full house now, 3 of them and 2 grandchildren. So that's 5 plus you, 6 of y'all. All right, y'all full now, and then y'all been separated 2.5 years. Now, for the long and skinny of it, and I told you I don't know what that phrase actually is, but we'll just go with whatever come on out. Now, for the long and short of it, it's time to go on about your business. It's time to go on about your business. Now, listen, sis, it's been 30 years. If after 30 years you are not convinced 100% that this is your husband and he is the one for you, this is the man that God carved out for you, it's time to go on about your business. Because the covenant already been broke anyways. Both of y'all done cheated. And like you say, you've been forgiven. God forgives because all of us are sinners. And we sin at some point in our life, and some of us sin over and over and over again. We all sin over and over and over in some way or another. So, yes, you've been forgiven. I don't know if he has prayed for forgiveness because he around here using scare tactics. Going over there to the man's house, the scatter man. Now, I'm going to tell you this right here. A man who is not scared of another man is crazy. And now you done went through all kind of so being that you've been through all sorts of and he went over there to that man's house, he is a little off. Now he could have a soft spot for you, and that's where you kind of have to work and figure out, like, okay, where is he? Is he good? Is he healed? Or is he crazy? And that's what you really need to be praying for discernment on. So when situations like this and this kind of stuff in here, you know, I have to tread lightly. I can't just say, hey, do this, hey, do that. Because when you're dealing with somebody that's crazy, stuff could get a little bit more serious. So you have to, excuse me. Woo. Y'all got to excuse me. Voice about to go out on me. Hold on, my voice about to leave me. Let me get my water over here. My voice went to cutting on me. I'm like, it hit me in the back of my throat. I'm like, that's the Lord trying to tell me something? Woo! Stepped on my charger. Oh Lord. Stepped on my charger. About tore my Achilles. the computer charger that you plug in the wall is 3-prong. It's sitting on the ground. I stepped on it and it rolled. It went to rolling. Here go my ankle. Ankle did like this. But I told my Achilles, well, 14-year anniversary is tomorrow. To God be the glory. And now this sister here is, I guess, it's befitting I answering a question about 30 years of marriage. Now listen to me, sister. Listen to me. I don't believe in divorce. I don't condone divorce. But I know that it comes a time in your life to where sometimes you got to let go. And I also know that God is a forgiving God, and that you can be forgave for your transgressions and also for leaving this marriage. I don't believe that it is God's will that we remain in a marriage that is killing us. Love should bring life, not take us closer to our grave. I remember reading one time, and it said relationship stress is the worst type of stress. It's greater than work-related stress, family-related stress, death-related stress. That relationship stress is the most toxic form of stress, and that it increases your chances of a premature death by natural causes by 300 to 500%. If you've ever had a broken heart, then you know that to be true. If you've ever gone through a tumultuous situation in a relationship, then you know that to be true by your own life experience. When you've gone through something very, very tough and trying in a relationship, there's not many feelings that you feel in your life that feel worse than that. You've lost loved ones, and if you've lost a loved one and you've been in a very heartbreaking, toxic relationship, and you weigh the feelings, that relationship could hurt worse. It could hurt worse because it may come with less closure. It may hurt when you lose a loved one, but you may have the closure of they lived a good life, that this is their story, this was their date to go on to glory, this was, a life well lived, or even if their life was cut short, God needed an angel. You use things to console yourself and to make it make sense in most cases. Some cases it's not gonna make sense. But over here in this relationship, you're sitting and you're like, where is the closure? Where's the explanation? Where's the understanding? And so here's what happened with your situation is this: what you have to understand is you met him at 19. You met him at 19 and he didn't know who he was. He didn't know what he wanted. So he got with you and things were hot and steamy. Y'all hit it off. Everything going great. But then, so he's doing what it takes to be in a relationship. He did what it took to be in a relationship. He was with you. He was sleeping with you. He was there. But he didn't know what a man was. He didn't know who he wanted to be. His dad was not a good example. So he was looking for love. He was looking for some consolation, for some peace, for a prize, for a friend. He needed some pure love. You represented that. You filled that void that was in his heart from his childhood. But he got with you prematurely, and he didn't know if you are who he wanted to be with. He didn't know if you are wife material. He didn't know if he is husband material. So he was young, dumb, and full of rum. And so when that played itself out, you run through the course. See, you run through the course, and then what happens is you get to a place to where he's like, okay, I've had her every kind of way. And see, this is what happens when a man does not, and the reason why I'm explaining this and how this played out is because I can't tell you what to do in this kind of situation. I can't tell you what to do. That's going to be a personal choice, because when you're dealing with somebody who a little off here, if I tell you do this, do that, and that's what some people don't understand because they not in this chair. I've seen people in the comments, Tony, you need to just cut it straight to the point. You need to just tell people that they need to leave. And it's like there's liability with that. You can't just tell somebody who in a crazy situation, tough situation. Now, if I read the email and it sounds like this man won't bust a grape on a hot Sunday at the picnic, then I say you need to leave. So when I said in the beginning, hey, it's time to go on about your business. What I really mean on your situation is it's time for you to sit down, think on up what you want to do, come up with your plan, your strategy, your action plan, and then get you either a coach you could work with or an accountability partner, a sponsor, whatever you want to call it, and you have them, you share your plan with them, and then you have them hold you accountable. So now, listen, so what happened is, if y'all come in, okay, and then the man, he had you like this, then he had you like that, then he done flip you upside down, then he then he done turned you up. Now he got you like this, 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 then you got your mouth, then your legs, you this way, then you this way, then you this way. So what done happened is he done came and flipped you and tossed you. That had you every kind of way he could imagine. And after a while, now he used to it. Now it's old. Now he done been there and done that. So now that youthful lust, that curiosity that killed the cat, that right there, now it's gone. All questions done been answered. He done heard, seen, done everything. So at that point, if it's not real love, he loses interest and he starts to get wandering eyes. He starts to look elsewhere. And the relationship starts to break down. And so when he starts to get wandering eyes, that then that turns into other stuff. So now he got wandering eyes. Now one of my teams I'm working with playing tonight. So I got to finish this, then I got to coach, then I need to watch my team play tonight. Lord, please bless them. Y'all forgive my mind just racing. I'm all over the place. So now, when he start to get wandering eyes, what's going to happen is that's going to change the tone in his voice. That's going to change his temperament. Now his attitude start to change. Now he getting crunk. Okay, now he want to Conor McGregor out here. Now he want to get a little because he frustrated because now in his mind, he's a prisoner because he is somewhere that he feels he has overstayed his welcome. He feels his time is up in this situation. He has done everything he wanted to do. He said, I want to see her do this. I want to see her do this. I want to hear this. I want to see this. I want to feel this. I want to touch this. Do this. Do this. Do this. He done seen everything. He done felt everything. I want to make her cry in the car. Okay, you cried in the car. I want her to cry upside down. Okay, you done cry upside down. I want to do this, do that. So now everything out the window. And this when you start to see a man change. And you like, whoa, what's going on? Now he kind of, he emotionally, physically, verbally, So now you looking at all these different forms of A. When I say A, I'm talking about the A word. A, B, U. All right. Okay, fill in the blank. Can't say everything on here. So now you start to see this and you start to wonder. So now y'all went all this time. Now the way you summed this up very well, this 30 years, you summed it up in about 3 years. And then when y'all go into that co-parenting, now see, this is the thing. You hadn't, now just because you ain't say nothing about cheating earlier, don't mean you didn't cheat. It sounds like you didn't cheat, and you sure got too many kids to be doing any cheating. It's like, and with 9 kids, you ain't got that much time to be cheating. So I'm kind of leaning toward believing you that you had your emotional affair in this 22nd to 26th year. No, During the 26th to 28th years of marriage, I had emotional affairs. Now that's more than one man when you say affairs. Okay. And then you say it's because I had been reaching out to my husband in conversation, texts, and letters for 10 plus years before about what I needed from him. Now I can say, well, I cannot say if a woman is telling me the truth when she tells me this on a coaching session. But to the men watching this, I can say that most often, like, a woman ain't got no reason to lie to me. Because when I'm coaching, she ain't got no reason to lie to me, because if she lying to me, it defeats the purpose, because I'm there to help. So if she lying, I can't truly help. And the other reason why I don't believe that women be on the phone on a paid coaching session lying is because there's been women who said, I am cheating on my husband, or I have cheated on my husband, and I have done the unthinkable with this other man, stuff I've never done with my boyfriend or with my husband. I've had women say that. So I'm like, okay, I believe it ain't no sense to pay for a coaching session and then lie. So when she say this right here, I tend to believe her. And then she didn't even have to tell all this about herself. So that let me know she being transparent. During our 28th year of marriage, we each had a physical affair. Now see, here's the thing. Now here's the thing. And now men who know this. As a man, when I was a dog, the way I found out that it is a lie that men try to propagate and say that women cheat just as much as men. And that's also a lie that loose booty women try to spread to make themselves feel good about their cheating ways. Now this sister here is not a loose booty, because she waited until the 28th year of marriage to go on cheat. Now she said physical affair. I don't know if that mean enter or if that mean karaoke and peach cobbler for dessert. So I don't know what to mean by physical. I'm assume, because 28 years of marriage and grown as she is, I'm assume that mean all the way. All right. Spread eagle. And so now listen, what I learned is that, okay, when I was out there in them streets, I go up, boom, holler at this lady, boom, holler at this lady, boom, holler at this lady, boom, holler at this lady. I'm hollering at everything walking. And it was so many times a woman will just have that purse on. Choo. I start to have low self-esteem. I'm like, Lord, what the world? I look like a bat broke out the cage. I'm like, wow, these women just looking at me like a peon. I'm like, maybe my shorts were too big. I used to wear the Dickies shorts. Like, maybe my shorts were too big. Maybe I was wearing them size 11 and I wear a 9.5. Maybe that shoe flapping had a reason why they were walking off. And then some women, I got a boyfriend. And that's what let me know. That's how I learned that women do not cheat as much as men. Because if a woman look decent, now listen, I know I ain't good looking, but I know I ain't bunt booking ugly. I know I don't look like the bike of no 57 Chevy. So if a woman over and over and over, I hear, I got a boyfriend. The woman just look. Some women just ignore and just keep going. So it started to let me know, like, okay, on average, a woman is faithful. I learned that hands on. Now it's men who ain't never jumped off the porch and went to holler at no woman that be out here hollering by, oh, women cheat just as much as men cheat. They just do it better. Man, you ain't never hollered at nothing. If you went and hollered at some, you'll know it's a whole bunch of them curving your behind. Just. And so that's how I learned that. But see, now me being a man and me being around men, I could count on one hand how many men done told a decent looking woman, I got a girlfriend. I count on one hand how many times I'm gonna hear that now. So that's what let me know. That's how I learned boots on the ground that men cheat more than women. So that's what made me think when she say in the 28th year of marriage, we each had a physical affair, that this could have been his 15th affair, his 10th affair, his 28th affair. He could have had these one a year. Because typically when a man is in any kind of way, verbally, emotionally, or physically, he's also cheating. That go hand in hand. Because that's where it comes from. That's what the emotional, verbal, and physical comes from, because he unrest. He had unrest in his spirit in that actual life. So he around here want to meet slang. So that frustration of having to answer to a woman, he feel like the cage bird singing. He feel like now he's in a prison. And he feel like he's being trapped. He's being held against his will. And so that's what the narrative he started telling himself. And that's why he started to lash out. He started to act out. Started to act old fool. And so this right here what you got to understand. Now see, this what you got to understand. So when you get to this point, and this is why I try to tell men too now, when a woman mess around and go to having a physical affair, the relationship is over. This for men and women. This is a sign as a woman. If you know as a woman, you not loose booted. If you know you ain't loose booted and you done went and slept with you another man, don't worry about that. I just picked this up. This from a lighter that I broke yesterday. No, not my lighter for no smoking. Lighter for my candle here. This candle here smell good. When I tell you, I don't know. I think it comes from Neiman's or Nordstrom. This here scent is Santal, Santal 26. Santal 26. Woo! My favorite resort over there in Mexico, Palace Resorts. That's what they be having blowing through their AC. Whew, it remind me like I'm on vacation. So I'm sitting here answering all these emails. I like this here, but I broke my little lighter now, so I can't even light it. So now listen to me now. As a woman, if you mess around and you know you ain't loose booted, and you go and you cheat on your man, the relationship over. Because see, ironically, and understand I'm using the word ironically, okay? Ironically, a man will cheat and still feel like he got a lot of life left in the tank for the relationship that he's in. And to nobody else does it make sense, because to everybody else is like, if you cheat, you obviously don't love her. If you cheat, the relationship obviously is over. And he's like, absolutely not. I cheated just because I wanted me a little something different. But she the one that I want to be with. I want her with all of my heart, everything in me. This is what men be coming to me saying. I want her with everything in me. I die for her. I ill for her. Like, I do anything for her. And I'm like, so why did you cheat? I don't really know. I really don't know. It just was a moment of weakness. But that don't mean that I want to be done with her. I want to be with her. And guess what? I cannot say I've been there. Because when I used to cheat on a woman, that meant I ain't love her. So I really be confused how a man will cheat all up on a woman and then be paying all this money for coaching, talking about he want to stay with her. And I just be like, huh? That don't make no sense. So listen to me. A man will cheat and want to stay and want to keep you around, just like how he went out and had a physical affair. Now, if he know about you having a physical affair and he still wants you around, he wants you around to destroy you. Don't no man want you around after you done cheated to love you through that. He want that to get the last laugh. You hear me? And him getting the last laugh could mean that you'll never laugh again. You catch my drill? dirt nap. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. You got to be strategic. You got to be strategic. It may be getting an ally. It may be talking to his best friend, you know, his pastor. You got to get somebody that knows something. You got to introduce some representation. You got to get somebody that knows what you're getting ready to do. If you're going to leave, somebody need to know about it, and he need to know that they know about it. So now he's suspect numero uno, okay? So now he know that if some tires want to get sliced, if some windows want to get busted out, if a house want to get broken into, or worse, he know that you know, and this person and maybe this person knows that he's suspecto numero uno. You hear me? That's for my Spanish folks, because I've been having most Spanish folks. They may ask me to do Spanish subtitles. I can't do Spanish subtitles. Hable escuchar. Trabajar mucho grande. Excuse me. You see what I'm saying? So every now and then, I throw some Spanish on y'all. You know, just so y'all understand, like, listen. Escuchar. Okay? Trabajar. Just every now and then, I'm going to hit you with a little bit of Spanish. Just so that you know, hey, I got you. You welcome over here. I can't speak all of it now. I can't speak all of it because I don't want too many people to be on to just the levels that I'm on. So I try to just kind of keep things, excuse me, just kind of keep comprehend. So understand this now. You have to get to a place to where, okay, a pastor know. If his pastor know, now pastor, hey, you know, so I talked with your wife and she getting ready to move on with her life. And I want you to understand, like, you need to be a man of God. And you broke your vows, you know. You are part of the reason it's to this point. Yes, she wasn't perfect, but it's time to let go. Now, if somebody could talk to him, talk him off their legs, you know, calm him down, then he could grow, he could understand, he could let you go. And you could go on about your business. He could eventually go on about his business. But see, for right now, that soul tie is so strong. And then, like you say, he used the Bible as a defense to stay married. Forgive and manipulate the situation and me through guilt. Manipulation by guilt. Coercion by fear. See, he coerced you to deal with him by making you scared, by going to scare that man. And that's what let me know he's crazy, because that man could have just came out on no question asked. That man could have said and tried to holler. He was, you know, scared for his life, and that was just self-defense. So the fact that that man could have did that, and he know that man could have did that, and he went over to that man's house and he Googled the man, found out everything about the man, went to the man's house. This here man that your husband is, ex-husband, strange husband, is he close to being certifiably crazy. That's why don't let my name leave your lips. Do not let my name leave your lips. Do not tell him to come to me for coaching. He got to go to somebody else. You hear me? Cause I'm gonna tell you, he come over here acting crazy. Hasta luego. Hasta la vista, baby. You hear me? He'll be pushing daisies. So understand that now. Have him talk to his pastor. Have him talk to the pastor. Okay, don't try to send him to everybody, any and everybody. Have him talk to the pastor. But what you need to do is you need to come up with your plan. Because to me, it sounds like your heart is too drained for you to make this work. For you to try to make this work, it sounds like your heart too drained. It sounds like you've experienced too much. You've gone through too much. Like you say, your kids have seen you live through too much. They need to see you get a victory. And that victory will be you moving on with your life. Now, see, this is the other thing. You went and you start dealing with this other man and you not divorced. So now you living in sin. When you go and dealing with these other men and you not divorced, you living in sin. And now, according to the Bible too, now, the theologians, they still gonna hold you in sin even after the divorce. They still gonna hold you to that letter. So that's when it honestly got to be between you and God in spirit and in truth. And you just saying, Lord, I'm putting this in your hands for you to be my judge, because by the letter I'm in sin. So Lord, what are you saying to me on the spirit and truth level, not based on the context of when that was written in King James version. The context when women didn't have no right, they couldn't have a role in the church, they couldn't speak, they was allowed to be all of that. That's when that was written, that women was under the thumb of the law. And so it was, so when that said that you have to understand the context. And that's why you will see Christian men and women go through a divorce and come out on the other end and be doing better and be more blessed on the other side of the divorce, because we serve God in spirit and in truth. So God know that what he puts together, let no man tear asunder. But if you come together under a covenant with the devil, then God ain't got nothing to do with your covenant. Your covenant null and void. That marriage null and void, because God didn't authorize and ordain that. And then when you got in it anyways, you broke the vows of it. So it's null and void already anyways. So that's when you have to have your peace in your spirit about what God is telling you. And I do not believe that we serve a God that asks you to remain a prisoner to a relationship, especially one with the A word, verbally, emotionally, physically, I don't believe that that's what Jesus died on the cross for. And so now you're going to have people that going to argue. They're going to argue you down to the word. But guess what? That's why they don't have complete understanding. And that's why God don't put them on the judgment seat, because they don't fully know what God's heart, what the Spirit of God is going to do in and through you in your life, and what this is. And so some people will sit and hold you to the fire about your divorce and make you feel like a Gentile, an exile, an outcast, a nobody, a leper, and like you have a hot corner in Satan's house with your name on it for eternity because you went through a divorce. And they will say, because that is a sin, but yet they will sin every single day and feel like God forgive them for their daily sin, but not forgiving you for getting a divorce, if that's technically a sin. So they graced and they covered in they sin, but you get a divorce, now God done turn his back on you and you worse than the plague. That's how fake Christians will do you. That is how fake Christians will do you. And they will be in these comments and quoting the scriptures like, listen, we know what the scriptures say. We done read the scripture with you. We know what the scriptures say. But we also know that not everything of context, not every context in the Bible will apply directly to today. Because if a man put hands on a woman, he has broken his vows, which means he has been unfaithful to his vows. That is not unfaithful based on intercourse, based on adultery, but he is not loving her the way Christ loves the church. He is not sacrificing and laying his life down, laying his ego down the way he is instructed to. So therefore, he is out of covenant. He is out of line, or she is out of covenant and she is out of line. And the marriage is null and void because the covenant has been broken. And so in the day and time when people was being held to the fire for that, it really was written because men was just getting married, and then just all of a sudden 2 weeks later, I'm ready to be divorced. I want a divorce. And that's why it was put in place like, listen, do not divorce. You can't just wake up on the wrong side of the barn. You done got up on the wrong side of the manger, and now you want to holler about you want a divorce. Y'all down in the court the court line wrapped around the corner, and we ain't got no typist in there. They got to get that thing and bam it into the stone. And here we doing all of this right here, bamming into this stone to get you a divorce because you done woke up on the wrong side of the manger. And this is why we tired of your butt. So, come here. We need to declare and decree. Talk to God. Go up there on Mount Sinai and get a word from the Lord and come on back down here. And we finna write this right. Okay, what did the Lord say? The Lord said, do not get a divorce. And if you get you a divorce, you will be in adultery if you move on. Except for infidelity, physical cheating. And so it was written in the word. And it was contextual in the word. But you can't take and just, God ain't changing the word. But you also can't take and put God in a box and say that God want you to stay in this marriage when you going through all kinds of chaos and nonsense. Your safety is at risk, your sanity is at risk, and you finna stay in there like a prison. Like your spouse is God? No, you serve God. God bigger than that situation. God bigger than that. And if you leave there and somebody want to cast a stone, show them John 8:7. And then you tell them, okay, I pray God forgive you for your sins. If you coming down so hard on me about a divorce being a sin, what your sins is. Because from last I heard, no sin is greater than the other. Because I know what God done gave me a peace about. See, if God give you a peace about something, then that's all you have to worry about, because you serve God in spirit and in truth, not in letter and in interpretation. Because when you get caught up in that, you dealing with translation, interpretation, context, all of this stuff going in there. And you trying to wrap your mind around something. You trying to wrap your mind around it with man-made knowledge. Your ability to read and comprehend based on what you learned in a classroom, instead of listening to the Spirit of God within you, because God is a spirit, not a letter on a paper. God is a spirit, not a letter in a translation that you reading that you could understand. God is a spirit. So you serve God in spirit and in truth, as the good books say. And that's when you can find that you will get a release. And when you get that release, now you start to realize God God is spirit. And they that worship him in spirit, they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. That's John 4:24. So what it's telling you, that God is a spirit. Stop trying to be so religious and stop letting people who think they fully understand the Bible hold you to their fire. Holding you to their fire like they some judgment throne, like they got the right to hold you to the fire on something they done read and interpreted in the Bible, and you the one got to suffer. You the one in the relationship, and they get to go to sleep at night, sleep good, and just want to hit you across the head with the Bible. The Bible. This is what the Bible say. This is what the Bible say. The Bible say, stay in that marriage. This what he doing to you? Okay, the Bible don't say this. The Bible say you can't leave for this. The Bible say you only can leave for this. So listen, I'm trying to tell you what the Bible say. Did the Bible say if he hit you in the face with a book that you can leave? No. It say if he do this. Have he did this to another woman? Okay, no, you got to stay. And that's what they'll tell you. And then when you ask her, excuse me, ma'am, what's your education? I dropped out in the 8th grade, but I am saved by the grace and the mercy of God. So where you learn how to read and comprehend that? You see what I'm saying? People are come and be all kind of theologian. I love the Lord with all my heart. I love the Lord with everything in me. I want to be in right standing with the Lord every day. But one thing that God done gave me the wisdom to understand is that you cannot be holding somebody to the fire over the letter that you interpreting from a context that may not even apply to what you living in, apply to today, because God could be saying, yes, we didn't, when they wrote that, they didn't write, if a man beats his wife, she can leave, because he was allowed to back then. He was allowed to do all that to her. So we just put infidelity, and that was written. You see what I'm saying? So the Spirit will give you peace about getting up out of this thing that is killing you, that you suffering in, that you struggling in, that you depressed in. And then here's the thing. This sister say she prayed. She praying for her marriage. She praying for her marriage. The man never changed, because God can inspire somebody to change. God can, somebody could be inspired to change, but the work has to be done by you. As a man, or if you're a woman, you could be inspired by the Holy Bible, but you still got to do the work. I could know the word inside and out, but I still have to keep my thing in my pants. See, if I get ready to whip that thing out and go put it somewhere, the Bible ain't gonna come and give it that thing. Give it that thing. Put it back in there. The Bible ain't gonna do that. It's gonna sit right there. You got to open it. You got to read it. Be inspired by it. Learn from it. But then you got to take action. Then you got to be obedient. So this is the thing. And at the end of the day, each one of us will have our own judgment seat. You came in by yourself. Ain't nobody pop out of your mom at the same exact time. If you got a twin, they came either right before you or right after. Y'all ain't come out there at the same time. You came in by yourself. You going out by yourself. So you can't depend on a YouTuber interpretation of the Bible. You can't depend on your pastor interpretation of the Bible. You have to know God for yourself, and what the Spirit of God is saying to you about your situation and where you need to be at. And you have to make sure that you hearing and you operating from a pure spirit. You can't. It ain't about twisting the word of God. It's really about understanding God's will and way for your life. And you have to ask yourself, does God want me to remain in a marriage that is killing me? That I'm praying for and I'm doing this and that, and he is not changing or she is not changing, and I'm ready to end it all, lose it all, cost it all. Is this what God wants for me? I've tried, I've toiled, I've prayed, I've fasted, I've done this, that. And so this is what I'm saying. When you done gone and you done gave it 30 years to the point that you broke down and went and started cheating, the relationship so dead and gone. But see, this is the thing. It's hard. And that's why I say it's hard. Listen, I don't listen to what nobody trying to tell me about what God done gave me peace on. About what God done showed me revelations in my life and in my walk with him. That somebody else, it might not make no sense to them because of how they interpreting something. But I listen to the Spirit of God within me, and then I will know if I'm hearing right when I take action, if my actions are blessed. If my actions are blessed, then I know God heard me. Even if my actions feel cursed, it gives me a moment to pause to see, and if I still hear that what I'm doing is right thing, that I will be granted peace in the midst of a storm. And then on the other side of that storm, I see the rainbow. And I realize that test came from the adversary to make me go back, to make me change and do it a different way, when God was trying to tell me to do it this way over here. That was not conventional or traditional. So I question myself, because some people are so trapped in their condition or tradition or their interpretation of what somebody else has misused on them, without using discernment or praying for discernment, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and a moving of the Spirit. But they have been trapped, and they literally sitting there and walking around looking like Satan reincarnated, because the situation they're in is so toxic and unserving. But they have been told that you have to stay there because that's what God said, to stay there. And when God could be talking to your heart and saying, listen, I did not put this together. So this being tore asunder is not tearing anything apart that I ordained and put together. Because see, when God put it together, it's going to last. Come trial, come tribulation, come mistakes, come bad choices, come what it's going to be. If God put it together, even if you lose a spiritual battle, because you in battle, you in spiritual warfare, you're going to get back up, brush yourself off, learn from it, and you ultimately will win the war. Even if you lose some battles, if God put it together, it's going to stay together. It's going to win. You may go through everything that everybody else have gone through, but because you were put together by God, you're going to heal, learn, grow, and overcome. Whereas them same tests will break something apart that was not put together by God. So see, that's what you have to realize and understand on situations like these right here. It ran its course. It taught you a lesson. It raised your kids. So you have to ask yourself, do my kids need to see me get a win? Not a situation where you got this man over here on the side while you still married to your husband. But do they need to see you stand up for yourself, love yourself, respect yourself, break free, get a divorce from this toxic, draining relationship, and then heal? Be single and healing. And then when you are whole, attract real love that sweeps you off your feet, and you can reciprocate, and then y'all ride off into the sunset. Do your kids need to see that so that they can believe that love is real? And that's what you really got to get to the core of and see. And then you're going to see, okay, do I go? Do I stay? But the decision, it has to be yours and only yours. Hey, this is Tony Gaskin. I got a coach in 30 minutes, so I'm going to try to upload this in that 30 minutes. God bless you. We'll talk soon.